Hey guys, it's Coach B. Wiley here. So, if you're following my Instagram, Coach B. Wiley, I had a collaboration with a young lady by the name of Ann. She's a true love mentor over on Instagram and she's out of Dublin. And we were talking about dating, relationships, communications, breakup, all those kind of things. Last Wednesday, we did a live. It's still on my page if you want to check it out. And what stood out for her was something that I said. Women who refuse to take a pause for the cause. What is that? That means that if you've been in a relationship, if you're one of those women that tends to go from one relationship to the next without a break in between, this is directly for you. If you know someone who tends to go from relationship to the next one, send it to them. One of my best friends, probably my best friend, she literally goes from one relationship to the next, and it has really screwed her up at the point where she's at right now in her marriage. So, when you're coming out of a breakup, you know what I always say: deal, heal, forgive, surrender, keep it going. And when you're doing that, you're not dating anyone. You're working on yourself. You're figuring out what went wrong in that previous situation and why it went wrong, what you could have done differently. You work through all the emotions. You forgive them. You forgive yourself. You let it go. Give it to God. You move forward with a healthy, clean slate. That is a part of the pause. A lot of women who are just wanting to have a man so bad because that's the highlight of their life, whether it be that, or a lot of women who are reaching a particular age and you feel like you have not had kids, you want kids, and or your friends are getting married, and or your family is always asking you when you're going to get a man, where's your man, how come you're single. For those of you who have even been single, more so than in a relationship, and you're so eager to get in a relationship, you too can take a pause for the cause. Would you be like, well, why would you take a pause for the cause if I ain't really had no man? Because we got to find out what's within you that's not attracting what you really want. Not saying there's something wrong with you if you haven't had a man thus far and you're, 30 years old. No, I'm saying there are a lot of moving parts. So if you're one of those that jumps from one porch to the next, you have to ask yourself, why can't I be by myself? You have to ask yourself why you can't be by yourself, why you're uncomfortable, why you feel less than. And then you have to think back into your childhood. It always comes from childhood. What did you see as a child that makes you believe that going from one person to the next is going to solve your problems? Because typically when people go from one relationship to the next, you're taking yourself with you. You're not leaving yourself behind. You're the same person showing up again and again in a different relationship, but with the same results. You always end up breaking up. 10 times out of 10, I'll say 9 times out of 10. I'm not, nothing's perfect, but I will say 9 times out of 10, those relationships that you continue to take yourself in typically will end up being toxic. And the thing that I've noticed with human behavior is that it'll start real small. We'll have these real small issues. And as we take ourselves into these next relationships without fixing, healing, dealing, then those little bitty things that continue to stack up and escalate and get bigger. And the thing is, a lot of people think that something small that should be overlooked, no, it gets bigger and it gets bigger. What you don't deal with will grow. It won't go away. Just like when you see a red flag in someone, that red flag isn't going to go from a red flag to a white flag in 2 weeks. Heck no. It's going to get red, and it's going to get redder and redder, and then it's going to be lit on fire, and then everybody going to be crazy. So think about it. If you or someone you know has a tendency to not take a pause for the cause, have a conversation with them. It is okay. Me personally, I took a pause for the cause. That's why I'm telling you to do the same. Because if you don't, you will, what happens when you don't, right? If you decide that I don't know what I'm talking about, if you decide to not listen, then that just means you're going to keep dating the same person. Is this bothering you? Hopefully not, but it just won't. It won't. You're going to continue to date the same person in a different body. Why? Because you haven't changed. And in order to see change, you must become that change. So, me personally, I'll use myself. I was always attracting guys who just wanted to go with the flow. wanted to go with the flow, never wanted to commit, just coming out of a relationship. It was just, they want to do everything, introduce me to their mama, their daddy, their family, their kids, but they did not want to put that title on it. They did not. And they wanted to make sure I knew that we were not together. So what did I do? After the last one did it to me, I was like, okay, obviously I'm the problem. Because, and you have to have that conversation with yourself. Say, self, look, I'm the problem. And if you aren't willing to do that, then you're going to be unwilling to get a good guy that's right for you, okay? So have a conversation with yourself. Take that pause. Do the dealing, the healing. I got videos all about it. And then you want to just get yourself right. This doesn't mean a pause, guys, is a pause. It doesn't mean it's permanent. So in that pause, it could take 6 weeks, 6 months. Who knows? It's based upon you. This isn't a race. This is a marathon, because you want to make sure you get things done. And sometimes when you take a pause and think you're ready, you'll realize you're not. And then you got to go back on pause and say, okay, I got to make these tweaks. And then you come out and then you test yourself. That's what you do. So what is it? A pause includes dealing, healing, forgiving, surrender, okay? So you're doing that. You're dealing with all that baggage so you don't pick it up and take it with you to the next relationship. Number 2, quit jumping from relationship to relationship. If you do nothing else, have a chill pill and just be single, okay? Then after that, you want to be able to take yourself and look at yourself in the mirror and hold yourself accountable and say, hey, maybe I'm the problem. What can I do about me? How can I fix me so that I can stop attracting guys that are cheaters, guys that want to use me, guys that want to lie to me, guys that just aren't a good fit for me? What can I do about it? Because I keep taking myself in these relationships and they keep ending the opposite of what I want. So what can I do differently? Then once you put yourself out, you do all your work, right? That's your work. And then you step yourself out there, you go on a date, and then you find a habit of yours that has not died. You realize it because you're aware of self, because you've been doing the self-development and the personal development and the work. You take yourself back out of the dating scene, you tweak it. That could take a week, 2 weeks, as long as it needs to take. The good news is, the more you work on yourself, the better the results you'll get. That's with anything. With any kind of habit that you want to create, the longer that you work on it, the better you become. I started talking on camera 2014 on Facebook, and I had to always have notes. I do have my notepad right here, but you guys see I haven't looked at it once. And it's just video ideas are written down on here and some goals, but I needed it because I needed a title for the video. And so I used to always look at my notes. I used to have a frozen face. I used to speak fast. I used to make weird faces. And it was just a mess. And so I got my family, my friends, and whoever to critique me, and I got better. And here we are in 2022. I don't even use notes anymore. Unless it's something like 5 tips to landing your dream job, 5 tips on how to get over. Then I'll look down and be like, okay, tip number 2. And then I'll go and then I'll just talk. But outside of that, had I not sharpened my saw, then I wouldn't be here talking to you as I do every day. So just think about it that way. When you take a pause, it's not permanent. You're doing what you need to do for you because you want happiness, you want peace, and you want a partner. So do what you do for you. Take that pause and do what's best. And when you feel like, maybe I need to go back in. I dated a little bit, but I don't feel like I'm quite ready. I see myself getting a little too clingy. I feel myself thinking that this guy's going to be my husband and we've only been on 2 dates. I feel like I need to sleep with this guy in order to get him to notice me more. I feel like I need to do all this unnecessary stuff and post those thirst traps on social media. Check yourself immediately. Step off, check yourself, get yourself back together, and then go out. Now, you may have to do this a couple times. I know me personally, when I took my pause for the cause and I was working on myself, I can remember a couple times where it was 2 different guys, and I was starting to do too much. One of them didn't even realize I was doing too much. And then the other one, I don't know if he realized it or not, but I knew I was doing too much. And the other one, I told, hey, you know what? Because I went ghost on him. I ghosted him. And so I let him know when I came back, this is why I ghosted you. And he totally understood because we were friends before that and we had open communication, and that's why that worked. So If you're watching this and you still feel like, oh, I need a man, I'm tired of not having a man, well, the main reason why you don't have a man has to do everything with you. So when you tweak yourself, you make the necessary changes, you take that pause, you do the self-development, the personal development, then you present a better package. And we want the best representation of ourselves to be put out there, right? That's one thing I'm working on too. So I'm working on it with you too, boo. So all right, guys, that's pretty much the video. See, the collar is right back up again. It's right back up. So that's the video for today. Take a pause because it's going to bring you permanent results that equal peace. All right, guys, if you want more Be Wiley, feel free to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, subscribe here. And after this, I'm going to go ahead and do a TikTok video with a quick 1 to 2 minute message to kind of break this message down. So this message is like 11 minutes. But if you want the shorter version of it, the synopsis version of it, head on over to my TikTok, Coach B. Wiley. Outside of that, guys, if you made it this far, if you like the video, feel free to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.